All right, welcome back, everybody. We have assembled the finest draft minds that were available from 9 to 11 a.m. this morning.
That were available. That's
right. That's I had to underline that. We had several that said no. Once Scott, I was banking on Scott Engen to be here.
He's the draft guy,
right? This is his jam. Like I could see it on First News this morning, and he's catching a flight. He's going on vacation.
That's unacceptable.
Because his Broncos don't have a pick, I'm assuming? Is that what the deal was?
Well, then what's my excuse?
I know it. You're here early.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming in.
Well, I went to bed at 4 after the Wild game ended, so I'm dragging, I'll admit.
I appreciate you coming in.
I appreciate it.
Last year you did this from the road because you were in Pier last year.
That's right.
That your dedication to this is beyond measure. I appreciate that.
I watched it back, the segment last year.
You and Kyle Strecker were on your way to South Dakota.
Right, we didn't know where we were. I was upset Tyler Warren was gone, but I also want to go back to what I said and said Colston Loveland is going to have a better career than Tyler Warren. Wipe that off the board. Wipe it off. It never happened.
Tyler Warren was pretty good for your team.
Pretty good
last year. Colston Loveland wasn't bad for the Bears.
But no Tyler Warren.
Yeah,
no Tyler Warren.
I'm still trying to remember where you were when you. I'm amazed we got a signal out of that.
Yeah, we were some random place in South Dakota. I couldn't tell you where.
So your dedication is unquestioned on that. Also, dedication unquestioned to our guy Drew Trafton, back for year 7 of doing this.
No,
welcome back.
Yeah, this is going to be a special one because I think this has the potential to be the absolute just throw it at the wall, see what sticks. Type of draft we've ever done.
We were talking a little bit about this yesterday, that is there buzz for this particular NFL draft? And I don't know if there is. It might come as today goes on. If there's we were here, I can't remember what year it was, that Paul Allen of the Vikings flew out that Aaron Rodgers wanted to be traded. Remember we mocked that,
we got blasted for that.
And then it ended up that he wasn't he was unhappy with the Packers that year when PA threw it out there. So maybe we have something like that happen today.
I could see it. I could see franchise corner pieces moving, and that being the story of the day, or just unexpected player movement within the league, because I think that's where it's going to have to come from. There's just no consensus with this draft whatsoever when it comes to who's moving, what positions are moving, anything like that.
Well, we always ask, when does the draft begin? And it might begin with pick 2 tonight, because I think everybody knows who pick 1 is going to be. Our guy Bobby Pointer is here, who's actually working today, because you have the news coming up at 11.
Got the 11 o'clock coming up in a little bit.
So I appreciate you coming in with your Giants gear. This is how big a day is this? You got 2 picks.
Yeah,
both New York teams suck, so we got 4 picks today.
Well, it's another year where you and I both get to enjoy the first half hour of the draft. We get a pick right away again. But now we have 2 picks. Yeah, it's trading Dexter Lawrence.
Yes.
We'll talk more about this later, but in a nutshell, I'll miss him. He's a stud player.
Really
but
good player.
At the end of the day, he didn't want to be there.
Yep.
And there were some questions about, he got injured, all that. Getting the 10th overall pick for him, and now we get to do whatever with that. Yeah. So I'm excited for it. And obviously, if he didn't want to be here, obviously, I guess it just worked out for both teams. And if he returns to form, that's awesome for the Bengals.
I have not asked you this. How psyched are you John Harbaugh is the coach of the Giants now?
I mean, obviously he was the number 1 coaching candidate right off the bat as soon as the Ravens let him go, and we got him right away. And that is, we've had a carousel of coaches the past few years, and a lot of that's been, first-time coaches, but nothing wrong with that. But there needs to be more stability, and having a guy that's been a proven winner, a Super Bowl champion, and it's been in a steady organization for, I think it was 19 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And having him, I think that will be a really good foundation, just to build something
This
here.
is it for Joe Shane. This is his job, correct? Is on the line in this draft?
I'm shocked he's still here. Obviously, they had little stories that he's taking a little bit of a back seat in terms of
that Hard Knock show will hang over him forever.
I can't
with
believe,
letting Saquon Barkley and how that came out, and then what Saquon did with Philly after that.
When he was trying to ration with the owner, it's like, Chicago talked. I don't know what exactly they're talking about. I'm like, why would you say that?
Yes. Yes. No one will ever do that show ever again, by the way. The Giants let the cat out of the bag on that. This is different for you because the Colts don't have a pick. I appreciate that. The Jets have a pick. We have your pick today.
Don't screw it up, all right? What is it, 16?
Do you know anything about We'll show you. Every year, Drew knows this. I show the ESPN montage of the Jets clips that they have butchered. It is tremendous.
It gets longer every week.
There's just a new
Zach Wilson hasn't been added onto it yet. So I can't wait for that to become. Yeah. So
And
what do you do tonight? You don't have a pick. Are you watch? Will you watch?
Yeah,
tonight?
I'll watch. But it's like we said, this first round sucks. It's just
way to go.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody can sing. You don't have to watch the show anymore.
Turn it off. It's not going to be an exciting first round.
Come on.
It's not necessarily a new spot for Colts fans because this is like the third or fourth time since 2020 we've not had a first round pick, and the Colts do well. Not drafting in the first round. Seems like they do better when they start in round 2, which is like, it's not the end of the world.
So we were just visiting with Bobby on Joe Shane. Is Chris Ballard, the Colts GM, on the hot seat here to make this happen? After what happened the Colts had the best record in the NFL, and then Daniel Jones
was on the hot seat.
Why can't the Giants find players like him?
Exactly.
Why can't the Vikings find players
exactly.
like him?
He was on the hot seat at the end of last season, but personally, I'm a fan of him. I think he drafts really well. I would like to keep him around, but if things keep trending the way that they have been and they can't get over that hump, then yeah, I believe so. This is also the first draft for the Irsay daughters at the helm too, and sounds like they're like they have been since they took over ownership. They've been playing a hands-on role, so hopefully it works out. But I don't know. I don't know how in tuned I'm going to be to the first round here. I'll probably just flip on the Wolves once it gets to that point.
Do you see any scenario where they trade in?
I was going to say, are there teams that will go into the first round?
What are they going to trade? There's plenty of teams that are going to go in. I just don't think the Colts are one of them. I don't know what piece he's got to give away. You already got rid of Pittman to the Steelers back in March. Zaire Franklin's now with Green Bay. Those are two guys, both offensive defense, that played the most amount of snaps, and they did that for financial reasons to keep Daniel Jones and Alec Pierce. So got the two big free agency moves that you wanted to get done. I don't know what else you can throw at the wall here.
Drew, let me ask you this before we get going here. There are 6 teams tonight that do not have a pick, and I'm interested if that adds to the malaise of this, because I mentioned off the top, this is where the start of the year, everybody's excited for it. Denver, Indy, Green Bay, Jacksonville, Cincinnati, Atlanta aren't picking tonight. They're sitting it out. Now, granted, like you said, they could trade in, but I don't know how much that adds to the not everybody's in the party tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big chunk of the league, right?
I mean, that's 6 of the 32 aren't going tonight.
Yeah, absolutely it does. I think that contributes to it. Just the lack of consensus contributes to that malaise with this draft where nobody really knows who's going to go. I'm going to be surprised if like more offensive players go than I think, because I think this is more of a defensive like structure.
So wide receivers are really good. I think we could have like 6 or 7 wide receivers go. Where there's not a headline quarterback, there could be 7 wide receivers
and
go.
if that happens earlier, or like if some of these coaches, like there are a lot of new coaches in this group too, which I think that's going to factor in a little bit, because some of these guys aren't going to have the panache to like go to their general managers or say like, this is the guy.
Nope.
You know, or they won't want to. They won't want that smoke, like taking,
that's true.
you know, like right off the bat. Like I think Arizona at pick 3 is going to be the first example of that. It's like, does LaFleur have enough like juice to be like, I want Jeremiah Love, you know, like if that's where he wants to go, or are they going to have to eat their veggies?
Or do they make the pick? Do they trade out of that pick? Denver doesn't have the pick because that was the Jalen Waddle trade, correct, with Miami. So that's why the Dolphins picked for Denver. Indy gave up their pick to the Jets for Sauce Gardner. I should ask Benel, why is Green Bay not picking tonight? Who do they trade?
That's Micah Parsons, right?
The Micah Parsons deal. Yeah, thanks, Bobby. Jacksonville traded for Travis Hunter. Cincinnati obviously traded with the Giants for Dexter Lawrence. Atlanta traded with the Rams for their pick. The Rams are sneaky tonight. Yeah. That's the one I'm like, man, they're already really good, and they could do something
they could package.
Right. They could do something really squirrely in this draft.
Well, they think this is their Super Bowl year, right?
I think so. And we mentioned it yesterday, and then we'll get going here. The Chiefs are the other one. We're not used to Kansas City picking to the top 10, and they got the ninth pick tonight. You know, I don't know what they're going to do with that. All right, so here's the draft order for those that want to know. We'll keep this up periodically throughout the draft. Obviously, the Raiders go first. The Jets will pick second. They can't even tank right that they had to do that. The Cardinals third. The Titans going fourth. Then the Giants, who traded into that spot with Cincinnati. Then Cleveland, Washington, the Saints, the Chiefs, as we mentioned, and then the Giants at 10.
The Giants, we traded in with the Bengals for the 10th
Oh,
spot.
10, sorry. With the 10th pick. Then Miami, Dallas, Rams, we mentioned, Ravens, Bucks, and then the Jets, who have that pick from Indianapolis. The Minnesota Vikings pick 18th tonight. We'll get to that coming up later on. I think it's almost a foregone conclusion who the Vikes are going to take. That's also, I think, at least around here, maybe have subtracted from the excitement of tonight's first round. You see Dallas at 20, the Steelers at 21. What do they do? Obviously, Pittsburgh is hosting the draft. What happens there? You have Chargers, Eagles, Browns, and then you see the back end there with Miami at 30. The Chiefs have 2 picks. The Texans at 28. And then I was going to mention this, your beloved Seahawks at the end. Do they actually make the pick at the end of the first round?
I'd be shocked if they do. I think they're going to try to bid a couple teams against each other and see who can bring them the best, because they only have 4 picks.
Yes.
So they're going to want to recruit.
All right. I will just get the first pick out of the way because there's no drama on that. The Raiders are taking Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback from Indiana, the Heisman Trophy winner, the national champion. Again, I have to get my brain around the fact that Indiana won the national championship in football, and they have the reigning Heisman Trophy winner to him. Mendoza was great, and you look at what he was able to do this past year. He was electric. He made all the plays he needed to. I'm really interested how this is going to work with him going into with Tom Brady and a Raiders team that frankly needs a lot. And they went and got Kirk Cousins. Bobby, does he play right away? What do you think?
I think Kirk Cousins starts a few games because Tom Brady, he has said over and over, he's a huge advocate for letting rookies sit and develop for a little bit, even if it's only a couple of games.
I'll be interested to see when he plays. They signed Tyler Linderbaum from the Baltimore Ravens to play center, so they gave him a little bit of protection up front. He will also not be at the draft, which is another thing, Grant. He's going to be with his family. His mom is dealing with MS, so he'll be in Miami, which another part of it, Drew, when the first overall pick isn't on stage with the commissioner.
Yeah.
We haven't. When's the last time?
Right.
Gosh, when is the last time that's happened? It's been a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, was it when they couldn't?
Trevor Lawrence, that's right. Trevor Lawrence
That's
didn't
right,
go because Zach Wilson and Trey Lance went in 2021, but Trevor Lawrence didn't go. And that draft was weird to begin with, but it's been 5 years since we haven't anybody go with the first overall pick. So I'm going to pick for the Jets, surprisingly enough, with the number 2 pick. I've debated. It was a coin flip I did this morning.
Seriously.
It really was. Yeah. I have loved Arvell Reese since I saw that might be the guy, and I'm picking David Bailey. I am.
What changed your mind?
I think I watched his highlights again this morning. He is a freight train defensive end from Texas Tech. I was just reading as well, and I love Daniel Jeremiah, and he says, I'm going with Bailey as the more refined player with a more defined role. Pairing him with Will McDonald, who was really good as a rookie this past season with the Jets, gives the Jets 2 fastballs off the edge, mirroring the team the general manager previously worked for in Denver. Now, they have a bunch of holes. A bunch. Quarterback is clearly something they're going to address next season, that Geno Smith is back for round 2. But I think this guy could be devastating. Jets defensively, I didn't think were bad last year. Everything offensively,
they
were
couldn't get to the quarterback much, though, could they? So that's why this pick, you have to go something off the. I've been curious about this, the debate between Bailey and Reese. Is it because he's 2 or 3 years older? Does that help him more of a
honestly,
plug-and-play guy?
I really think it's a coin flip. I really do. If they take Reese tonight, I'll be thrilled with that too. Either way, I'm solid on.
That's got to come down to like the decision where you meet with the guys and like it's like who do you like?
Yep.
Right.
Like, which guy do you
Who's
think
more
fits
of a
in the
fitting
locker
guy?
room?
Totally. All right, number 3, Sam, is Arizona. I'll have you pick for the Cardinals at number 3.
I will go. I know Bob's not going to be happy with this, but I will go with the running back from Notre Dame, Jeremiah Love. I agree. I think this is a pick that they could trade back. I think Arizona is going to do some sneaky things towards the end of this first round, which we can talk about later. But I think they're going to go pretty offense heavy here, and they need some help at that position. James Conner played 3 games last season for Arizona. They don't really have anybody else.
I have a hard time naming any Arizona Cardinals. I know Marvin Harrison Jr., and that's pretty much it on that team.
Who's their quarterback now?
Oh, it'll be former Colt great Jacoby Brissett.
That's right, and then Gardner Minshew too. No, is he their backup?
Boy,
might be. I don't know.
Again, that tells you what Arizona is at
if
right
that's
there.
the case. So I think they want to go offense, and this is one of the best guys out there. And he's a recognizable name in this first round, which you're not going to get many of. And he was fun to watch at Notre Dame, and of course he was in the Heisman running as well, when he finished second in that, and pretty impressive player. So I think Arizona goes with him.
You watch him. I mean, he is electric at running the ball. I think he might be the most electric offensive player in the draft, whoever gets him, if the Cardinals use this pick. But I think I'm of the point where this is where the draft starts. Does Arizona make this pick, or do they trade it to somebody else?
I don't think they should make it. I think that
they
need
they have plenty of holes.
so much. They need so much that moving back makes so much sense.
Yeah. This is without a doubt the most rebuild year of rebuild years, because your division has the defending Super Bowl champs, the team that they faced, the Rams, that arguably could have even beaten the Patriots more of just their red zone defense against the Patriots, or offense against the Patriots.
And the 49ers.
And the 49ers that were a couple injuries away from, so it's like, that is a stacked division.
They're irrelevant in that division.
Yeah.
They are. We've talked about it all the time when you come on, because that division it's obviously where your team is. It's just there. Yeah. They got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew, by the way.
That's
those are the top two. So two Colts legends are in the Cardinals quarterback.
You're de facto watching Arizona tonight.
I guess.
Since your Colts are
I like
in it,
Jacoby. I'm a fan of him.
I do too.
Yeah,
and apparently
he
wants to get paid right now too. So he's holding out. In Arizona. All right, let's do two quick picks here. We go to break. Drew, you have the Titans at number 4 with their redesigned logo, which is fantastic.
Redesigned logo, new coach. Robert Saleh's coming in.
Former Jet great.
Got to think this is a defensive pick. The question is, I think, does he go with the middle of the defense, or does he set the edge? And with Reese sitting there, that's a juicy pick. But I am going to take a note on that anonymous GM who said that throw positional value out the window. I'm going to go Sonny Styles, linebacker.
Which Ohio State guy do you want at this point?
Yeah, exactly. It's like one of OSU.
So there's a potential Ohio State could have 4 guys in the top 10, which is outrageous.
The defense is crazy.
Sonny Styles is a really, really good player. It goes without saying what he brings. You watch his highlight reel is just fantastic. We got a little bit of that now, where he goes out and just he makes plays, and he's a total disruptor. And again, Tennessee, you watch his highlight reel here. I mean, he's going out on the edge and tackling guys, and
he can get there,
making plays,
right? I mean, he can get there.
Kate Klubnik thought he scored a touchdown that play, and then he ain't going anywhere. He got brought down on the edge. Tennessee needs a lot of help, and this would be certainly a guy that could help them in a variety of ways.
Feels like a little traditional, in thought, or old school in thought, but
I love Saleh.
It's a good way to go.
I did not like the fact the Jets got rid of him, and I go. I think the Titans have. It would not be surprising either if they go and get Jeremiah Love.
Yeah,
compare him with Cam Ward.
Dable would love him.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you have Cam Ward and holy
because
cow.
Arizona could go with Arvell Reese.
Correct.
Because at this point where we're talking now, Reese is sliding more, which is not a surprising slide, but
it's going to happen to somebody.
Yes.
Somebody that we're not expecting is going to slip out of the top 10.
I could see the Cardinals just trading out that spot too. Just there's so much to fill,
and then try to get a truck haul of picks out of it. So if that's the case, you're running to the podium and taking Reese then at 5 if this comes to pass?
Yeah, I was thinking of Caleb Downs, but if Reese is right there. Now, I will say, before the Dexter Lawrence trade, there was a lot of talk about wide receivers here, but we have the luxury now of waiting a little bit to get that wide receiver. If Reese is right there, I mean, we got to just take him there. So
the hot rumor here is the Giants are all in on Jordan Tyson, I heard this morning.
They
the USC wide receiver.
Yeah, they went down to Arizona with him. They had dinner with him. They love that guy. They're like, that's their number one target for wide receivers. Of course, they have a whole bunch of other options they want to do, but obviously with Wandale leaving to the Titans, you have to fill that void, and you have a star in Malik Neighbors.
You have Malik Neighbors already there.
But you have him coming off an ACL injury, playing 8 or 9 games on that MetLife turf. So, you got to make sure you have a wide receiver too, a really stud one at that.
All right.
Do you think that just one of their 2 picks is going to be a receiver?
I think so. I think they're going to pick.
That's what I think the Jets will do too. I think their second pick will be a wide receiver as well.
Yep.
It just has to be. With the amount of Reese. If that comes to pass, that'd be back-to-back Ohio State guys. Also, do they trade Kayvon Thibodeau though if they take Reese?
So after the Dexter Lawrence trade, there were rumors about that, but apparently as of recently, they're not too keen on trading him away. So I don't know about that. I mean, having both those guys would be awesome.
Well, you took Abdul Carter last year, right?
Yeah.
And you have Brian Burns still, right? And Giants got to. Why are the Giants bad?
Well, it's because when that defense is good, but when the offense goes 3 and out over and over and over,
they relied on Jackson Dart
and Jackson Dart is
to do something.
Right, and Jackson Dart is consistently in the concussion tent.
Yes,
and Scadaboo broke his leg. I mean,
and then they tell Dart, you should go back out there, and I'm like, I don't think you should be walking right now.
That was a video of Brian Daboll going into the tent.
Scadaboo going in there too.
And then a couple weeks later, when they were having that meltdown, I don't know if it was the Broncos game, but it was one of the meltdown games. I think it was against the Bears or something like that. But I was just watching a dead man walking.
Yeah, right.
I'm like,
yes,
you're trying to get that. You're trying to get Dart back out on that field. No, it's
do
over.
That. All right, let's break. That's the first 5 picks. We'll come back. We'll do picks 6 through 10 as the Hot Mic mock draft is underway. We're back on WDAY Extra right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Hot Mic mock draft, 7th annual underway. The first 5 picks are in the books. Fernando Mendoza, David Bailey, Jeremiah Love, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, the last one to the Giants. Back with us with Sam Getzinger, Drew Trafton, Bobby Pointer joining us. Bobby's got to get going to actually, forecast the weather, which is slightly more important than what we're talking about today. How many often do you actually get that when you're out?
People come up to me asking about the weather and whatnot. It's like Course Plus a lot.
Really?
Of all places.
Is that where you get
And it's like
besieged?
the one place where it's like, I enjoy talking to people, but if I'm like in the middle of lifting, it's like, okay, fine, I'll have a conversation with you. They're nice. They're very nice people, obviously.
Poll question is out here, and I'm interested for you guys to answer as well. You can vote at Hot Mic WDAY on Twitter. What network will you watch the draft on tonight? Will you watch it on ESPN, on NFL Network, or ABC? I know I will. I always watch it on ESPN because I will watch it with Mel. I do not like Mike Greenberg. If I could have a combination of what NFL Network of all 3, that would be ideal.
Yeah,
but that's I will watch ESPN tonight.
I'm in your boat too.
Yeah.
ESPN, ABC. Honestly, the only reason is because
to our bosses, I'll have WDAY on as well. Absolutely,
it's quicker to find on my TV guide than the NFL Network is, so I just click on that one. The personalities, I don't think I have a preference one over the other.
I really like Daniel Jeremiah. I actually prefer Jeremiah probably more than Mel, just because he gets so wrapped into like the. Last year we talked the Shedeur Sanders thing. Last year was really mystifying. Last year,
that just dominated, and he just got obsessed.
How about for you guys? Do you have any preference?
There's a bar restaurant right by my house, so whatever they're airing, I'm taking a 90-second walk over there, and sitting down, and
I flip around, and I have YouTube TV, so I'm going to quad box it.
Oh, okay.
And I'll start with the ABC, like the lead up to the draft, and then I'll start flipping. Once the picks
interested now. There's only 8 minutes between picks. If it gets done any earlier than 11 o'clock,
no way.
My vote is no way.
No way.
I hope so.
Either.
We got the Wolves tonight.
Yeah, well,
so
let's keep it quad boxing, man. You got different tablets and everything.
Well,
Won't be a
us
problem
on
for
the
Bobby.
other half don't have quad boxes, okay? With the bunny ears still connected, we can't quad anything.
All right. I have the next pick up here. We got the next 5 picks go Cleveland, Washington, New Orleans, Kansas City, and the Giants. I'm going to pick for the Browns. Is Deshaun Watson actually going to play quarterback this year for Cleveland? Or are they going with Shedeur?
Well, they have a Pro Bowl quarterback,
Yeah.
Shedeur.
Yeah, they do have
the 3 there is Watson, Shedeur, and Gabriel still there.
Yeah,
right?
Dylan Gabriel is still there as well. I think there's. I don't want anywhere part of Deshaun Watson playing quarterback for that team. I'm going to take the first offensive lineman. I'm going to go Monroe Freeling from Georgia as the offensive tackle there to the Browns. I think they need a lot of. If you're picking in the top 10, you need a lot of help. So I'm going. I think this is and you mentioned this before we started, Sam. This is a good offensive tackle draft, which again doesn't add to the buzz of what's going on.
And they all seem cookie cutter. I think you could have gone with 5 other names in that spot, and it would have been the same.
I was going to say, there's no consensus on who's the best.
Who's
tackle.
the best? There's
all
no
have these,
generational talent in this group.
I've never seen a team night and day difference between that offense and defense. So
Browns defense is
whatever they
amazing.
do, it's got to be offense.
Sam, you have the Commanders.
Yes.
After their quarterback, Jaden Daniels, always got hurt last year.
I'll start by prefacing this. If Sonny Styles is there at 7, they're going to go with him.
Okay.
And from what I've seen everywhere is that Sonny Styles has been their number one guy up on the boards. But since he's gone in our mock-up, I sent a text out to our friend Logan Campbell last night.
Diehard Commanders fan.
And asked, what does Washington need? And she told me, quote, I couldn't name half of the first-round players. And we need somebody.
Well, she's not alone in that again. Yeah.
Right. And then she said, we need someone in the secondary. So I will go Caleb Downs, the safety from Ohio State.
You just crushed Bobby again.
Yeah, just because he's available, I think he'll
Ohio
go
State player.
He'll go top 10. So that's what I'll pick.
See, I think there are some Viking fans in this delusional world that he somehow gets there. There's no way. He's gonna
there's
be
no
there.
way.
You watch Caleb Downs' highlight reel. I mean, I was watching it again this morning. It's really, really good.
But again, like positional value, like toss it out. You know, like you wouldn't think like in a typical draft that a safety would go top 10 unless they're like generational. I mean, maybe he is, but that's early.
Well, and there's a world too where Downs could go higher.
Correct.
Totally. Absolutely there is. Absolutely.
Is there a chance the Giants would do that at 5?
I've seen many mock drafts, like 90% of them have Downs in one of those 2 spots, and I don't see him, regardless, making it out of the top 10.
Yeah, he's really good there. You see number 2. That'd be the 3rd separate Ohio State player taken there. Drew, you're up with the Saints, who last I checked still need lots of offensive help.
They do, but I don't think that's where they're going here.
Really?
I don't.
Really?
No, I think they might go edge. I think they might take Reuben Baines.
Reuben
Jr.
Bain?
Just because it's like there are 3 edge guys that like people have been debating about in this class, and I don't think unless you trade back in, you're going to get a top shelf guy there. They need so much. Like let's just go with that. Although it is weird that we haven't had a receiver taken yet.
No.
Right. I thought this was going to be the spot for it.
Yeah.
Because
who are
the Saints receivers? Chris Olave, but he's always hurt.
And that's about it.
I couldn't even tell you who else is the Saints
I'll look it up for you.
Because I'm looking at Field Yates, his mock has him the Saints taking Jordan Tyson there from Arizona State.
Tyson, Carnell Tate, one of those guys.
Yep.
But I think...
who do they have at wide receiver?
Devon Veely, Mason Tipton.
Who?
Bub Means. Kevin Austin Jr.
These are the Saints' legitimate wide receivers.
Trey Palmer.
This isn't like the Louisville, what's their name in the UFL? That's not their lineup. This is the Saints. My God.
You got Bub Means coming off the outside.
These are names if I'm desperate on the waiver wire in fantasy. Just scrolling down.
It just strikes me as a much better defensive draft. And you just take the best player available at this point when you need that much.
So Reuben Bain is Drew's pick for the Saints at number 8. Bobby, you got the next 2, and then you got to get out of here. Here are the Chiefs at 9.
Yeah.
What does Kansas City do here?
So they are not normally in this position. And my hot take, I think, tonight, let's see if I'm completely wrong. I think they trade up. They're going to try and trade up like with the Cardinals or something.
Really?
I don't know. Maybe just try and fully capitalize on being here. But since we're just here at 9, I think they take the tackle from Miami, Francis. How do you say his last name?
Maligoa? Is there?
As I believe, Maligoa. Yep.
So
that's a good pick.
Yeah,
there.
just get a good trench piece.
They have to protect Mahomes.
Yeah.
Mahomes has gotten hurt each of the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So
they also need somebody to throw the ball to as well. Is it? Do they do that at 9?
That again, that's to Bobby's point there. They have a couple of options there. You got to protect
Mahomes.
him though. You still have him, and he's going to be good for
I suppose they do have a pick later in the first round too.
5 to 6 years. He actually caught a touchdown this year as well. He is a large individual. I think that's a really good pick that Kansas City does.
Can you imagine a scenario where the Giants are sitting there at 10 and no receiver's been taken?
Right.
I'm looking at it right now.
Just take your pick.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, like in that something weird's going to happen in the first 10 picks that we're not expecting. Yeah. Someone's going to drop down.
What do you got then for the Giants at 10?
So I just want to preface this. Obviously, the Chiefs need a receiver. I was not having them skip Carnell Tate so the Giants could take him. I legitimately think they would take the tackle, but the Giants, they're taking Carnell Tate here. I do want to say this. They've had a huge, a bunch of stories about them wanting the Arizona receiver.
Tyson?
Yeah. I think I like Carnell Tate better because Tyson has that injury history with him. And Carnell Tate, obviously, he looks like he's ready to play day one. And you just got to have a replacement for Wan'Dale, which I will say he was a sneakily good wide receiver.
Wan'Dale Robinson was, yes.
And when he had to step up for when Neighbors was gone, he was actually doing pretty well with inconsistent quarterback play and just obviously that team not really performing the best on offense, and I think he'd be a perfect fit for the Giants.
How did Ohio State not win the national championship, by the way?
I don't even think
guys
Tate was the top receiver on that team. I think Jeremiah Smith was.
He is, and he's not even eligible to come out yet. By the way, on Tate here, Bobby, only 4 drops and 162 career targets.
I like those stats.
That's really,
I like those
really,
stats.
really good. Yeah, I would too, man. If that ends up coming to pass, if you get Orville Reese and Carnell Tate, you better be tipping cars over tonight on that.
It's just all a matter of can the Giants stay healthy. Malik Neighbors comes back to form, Scadaboo coming back, and obviously
Dart
tackling.
keeps developing.
Yep, so tackling a little smarter for Scadaboo if he doesn't use his head as a literal battering ram.
But that's how he plays, though.
It'll be the best 2 to 3 year career I will ever see.
Drew and I saw him play FCS football at Sacramento State, and he was just electric for the couple years there. And then when he went to Arizona State, it was like, well, this is the guy we've seen tear up the FCS for the last couple of years.
He's legit. I mean, I feel like if you walk out with those 2
oh my
picks,
gosh,
I'd be ecstatic.
Social media is going to be like just
the Giants are back.
Yeah,
the Giants are back. I say that every year after the draft. And the only thing we're back is back in the top 10. But
I don't think it will be next year if this is how it goes to pass.
I will say the division is semi-gettable this year.
So we don't know with the Eagles. The Eagles seem like there's more off the field stuff, but they still have Jalen Hurts. They still have that D. Washington
Roseman always
right. The Eagles are going to do
like,
something tonight. You're talking about that. Philly will do something tonight to mess everything up. Washington was it a flash in the pan? Are they going to be good?
Yeah.
And then Dallas is out there.
Do they have 2 first-round picks?
Dallas does.
Yeah, they do.
Yep. So obviously,
who knows what Dallas? I don't even think they know what they're going to do.
I wouldn't be surprised if they are one of the teams that Arizona considers.
Right.
That's a really nice offer.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. You got to get to work. Thanks so much for popping by, Matt. All right.
Absolutely.
Good luck and enjoy it tonight. All right.
Yep. WDY News at 11 with me and Becky. So feel free to stay tuned. We're going to have a great show.
We're leading into that. Thanks, Bobby. All right, let's break. We'll come back. We'll continue. We'll wrap up. We'll get to the middle part of the first round, and then we got the second half of the draft coming up. The 7th annual Hot Mic Mock Draft rolls on WDAY Extra. We're back after this.
Johnny Lamb Jones, wide receiver, Texas.
I think it's a good selection, but a very surprising one.
UCLA running back Freeman McNeil.
As a season ticket holder of the Jets, I'm going to boo.
Jets take the first-round selection, quarterback Ken O'Brien of California Davis.
Everybody said if Marino was going to be around at that time, they'd take Marino. Obviously, the Jets know something that, the people up here don't.
New York Jets first-round selection, fullback Roger Vick, Texas A&M. New York Jets first-round choice, Jeff Lageman, linebacker, Virginia.
It's obvious to me right now that the Jets just don't understand what the draft's all about.
The New York Jets select Blair Thomas, running back, Penn State. The New York Jets select Johnny Mitchell, tight end, Nebraska.
So New York becomes tight end.
The New York Jets select tight end from Penn State, Kyle Brady.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first real upset, I think, at this point in the draft.
Oh, it is a tradition unlike any other. There it is.
It's a one shining moment.
What do you make of that, my man?
That was the first time I've seen that.
There are some doozies that were in there.
I really enjoyed that. Ken O'Brien. That was
Ken
funny.
O'Brien was. They left Dan Marino on the board.
The editing of the Warren Sapp bit there, phenomenal. Taking a fullback in the first round.
Yes,
I love that one guy's response. The Jets know something that everybody else doesn't know.
Every bleeping year. They had a stretch, I'm telling you right now, was just unbelievable. Unbelievable. But I will say, because we got to go to break here, we'll start the second hour. 2006. There's DeBrickashaw Ferguson was really good.
Yeah.
Nick Mangold, Hall of Famer for the Jets. Then they went to Darrelle Revis, who is an actual Pro Football Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. They have been okay. Yep. But that was 20 years ago. 20. What have you done for me lately?
It's been a while.
My goodness. All right. We'll break. We come back. We'll start the second hour, and we will rip through the rest of this mock draft on a NFL Draft Thursday. We're back after this.
This is Hot Mike. Hot Mike. On the networks of WDAY. Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2, ready to rock and roll here on this Thursday morning. This was the scene 10 years ago. I was there in Chicago. Carson Wentz selected the number 2 overall pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, became the highest drafted FCS player of all time. Of course, went on and nearly won the MVP in 2017. Still playing back with the Minnesota Vikings for this upcoming year. It was a memorable, there's my guy Joel Honeyman. That was seen in Bismarck, Sam. You know that's at the bowl out there. That was the watch party in Bismarck that night. It was a historic night for North Dakota sports. We are back here with our mock draft. Sam Getzinger, Drew Trafton joining us. Our thanks to Bobby Pointer for helping us out in our first hour. All right, boys, we are through 10 picks here in the mock draft. We have to motor through the last 22 of them to keep pace for those who are just joining us. Fernando Mendoza, David Bailey, Jeremiah Love, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese with the top 5 picks. Monroe Freeling went from 6 to the Browns. Caleb Downs, Ruben Bain, Francis Moyoye from Kansas City, and then Carnell Tate was Bobby's walk-off pick with the Giants. So the Dolphins are up at 11. They have a new head coach. Jeff Hafley is coming in from the Green Bay Packers. They've got some interesting needs there with this situation. I'm not sure what they're gonna do. They're in a division, obviously, where Buffalo is what they are. Obviously, the Bills, though, have a new coach. The Patriots went to the Super Bowl and have what they have. The Jets are the Jets. I don't think they're a threat. I think they're going to take offensive lineman, and I'm going to butcher his pronunciation. The Penn State offensive lineman, Olavega Ione, the Hawaiian from Penn State. He will go to the Dolphins at 11 because they need help up front as well. Obviously, they're going with Malik Willis now at quarterback there after Tua was moved on and was released after the year.
This is the same situation that we talked about with the last offensive tackle. I also had an offensive tackle at this spot, but a different guy, and I don't think it matters. You know, I had Spencer Fano here.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about guys who probably are going to play interior to start, maybe, or play interior and then swing out to tackle, or I mean, it's so weird. Like, I mean, everybody talks about arm measurements, right? Like that's the thing with tackles, and all these guys have T-Rex arms apparently for the most part. So
don't want that.
No.
All right, Sam. Dallas is up. You've got the Cowboys number 12.
Was looking at this one. I strongly think because they have 2 picks in the first round, if I'm not mistaken. I think they package those and try to move up. I think that's something that Mr. Jones would want to do. But if they do stick at 12, I would go with cornerback as a need they want to address. I couldn't name a current Dallas cornerback right now since Diggs isn't there
they
anymore.
left Trayvon Diggs go, right?
So I'll go Mansour Delane from LSU. Okay. I think he's one of the better ones available, and it sounds like he could go anywhere from inside the top 10 to this spot here at 12 if Dallas is still
Your
there.
guy Field Yates has exactly picked that for the Cowboys at 12, so you are a great NFL draft mind.
Well,
that's
I
what
might
he's
have stole that from Field Yates.
I mean, Dallas is interesting.
Yeah,
they always are. You mentioned up the first hour.
I think they move up and go for another guy like Sonny Styles or something like that, or try to get Arvell Reese if they can really get up there. I don't know.
Like, do you see a world where they go after Jeremiah Love? Like that feels like a Jerry Jones type of thing.
You got to package both their first round picks to move up. If you're going to go do him in the top, you got to get in the top 5, right? Probably move to 3, you're thinking, with the Cardinals? Boy, that's a pricey move.
There's also some really good wide receivers still there. Is that a potential? I know their wide receiver room isn't really a big question mark at the moment.
With George Pickens,
right, they just said they're not going to sign him.
Right.
Yeah, that might be an intriguing pick there.
Tyson is still there, if I'm not mistaken.
How many wide receivers we have?
Just
one so far,
which
I don't foresee that actually happening.
No, I took I took New Orleans probably should have taken a wide receiver, but I just like with the positional value there, the edge guys that are there.
But teams are going to do that too, though. Teams are going to pick, are going to also, but are going to help their own team.
You can wait on
out,
wide receiver for a little bit in this draft.
All right, I always do this to you. It's a tradition that you pick the Rams because you're a Seahawks. I figure that's the best punishment. I always pick the Patriots as well. So you have the Rams at 13.
And I hate this. I hate this so much because Ty Simpson's still there, and Sean McVay will be like,
would they do that?
Drooling at the mouth. Yes, they would
13?
totally do that.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
It'd be Stafford's replacement, huh? Yeah.
Oh no, not Ty Simpson. I'm sorry, I meant the receiver.
I was saying, if they went Ty Simpson at 13.
they could later because they have another pick.
You know what? I'll go Mekhi Lemon. Here.
Okay. USC wide receiver.
Yes, I hate this that they're going to do this, but they'll do it. They'll do.
So they've got Puka. They'd have this guy. They'd have
Devontae.
Man,
I think they're going to give Stafford his weapons. They could go tackle here, which is boring.
This is why
could
the Jets to pick
cornerback.
Well, and Lemon's a local guy too. USC to the Rams. But you still have Tyson on the board too. And so is Tyson better than Lemon? I guess. What does the pre-draft interviews and workouts say about that?
He won the Biletnikoff Award for the nation's best wide receiver. Tough and fierce, he's described. 2025, tied for the nation lead in 2 categories. Receptions of 15-plus yards, 31 of them, and games of at least 150 receiving yards. He had 4 of those.
I think that's what
McVay likes.
He's looking at. You're looking at yak monsters. You're looking. He's that guy.
That's probably a good pick there. See, you're in tune with your most fierce rival. That's why I do that.
I dislike that so much.
All right, the Ravens are up next at 14.
I'm not going to overthink this one.
Okay.
I think they're just Spencer Fano's still out there. Tackle. I think just grab the tackle that's there. On my list, he's like the first tackle that I think would go.
I agree.
Is Fano.
Yeah.
And so and they need line. New coach. Protect Lamar Jackson.
Well, just based off of everything I've read, it seems like there's no solidified thing for the Ravens at this spot. No one knows
after losing
Linderbaum
as well. I mean, Fano's a monster for Utah. That is,
Utah's got a couple guys.
They
in this
do.
draft on the offensive line,
2 offensive
don't they?
linemen they could go. Fano's a good enough player. There's no such thing as too much offensive line depth. Especially Fano was an offensive tackle throughout college, but some evaluators say they believe he has the goods to play any of the 5 positions, to lending your point where, hey, the Ravens need help anywhere, and they just lost their all-world center in Linderbaum. Maybe he's the guy.
Yeah, so that's the message. No such thing as too much depth.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to pick for Tampa here at 15, and Tampa reminds me a lot of Minnesota here, that they won enough games to just kind of be in that, when you're picking this part, You're not bad, but you weren't great. And obviously, we know our guy Cody Mauch got hurt last season. Mike Evans gone. I'm really interested in what they do. I think they're going to add a piece for Baker Mayfield. I'm going to have to take Kenyon Sadiq here. I'm going to take it Sadiq, the tight end of Oregon. I want the Vikings to take Sadiq, but he's not going to be unless the Vikes make a move and try and get up.
I almost considered him for the Rams. I think that's where he could start. That's where his window opens up.
I think he's strong on the Ravens, or the Ravens are strong on him. Because they have Andrews right now and really nobody behind him. So if he's there, I think that's a good pick.
So many teams are going 12 personnel, 13 personnel sets. He
ran a 4.39 at the combine. This guy can
tight end. He
is unbelievably talented.
You watch this highlight reel. I mean, he's leaping over guys.
Yeah, he is scary.
All right, so I'm going to take Kenyon Sadiq there for the tight end from Oregon, going to Tampa Bay with the 15th overall pick. I will stay because the Jets have the 16th pick, and they took defense in the first pick when we took David Bailey, number 2. Jordan Tyson sitting there. I think the Jets are going to go take Jordan Tyson.
I was just saying, which wide receiver do you want?
I want
Tyson or Amar Cooper, who could go in this first round at some point.
I think Tyson's more flashy, which is typically what the Jets will succumm to. Look at Zach Wilson, because he was flashy throughout the pre-draft process.
Mitchell's going to work out for you guys?
Yeah. He did catch a long touchdown for us.
He did.
In the Colts trade. I like Tyson. For some reason, and Drew knows this, being the NFL draft guru that he is, there's always a player that blows up late. There's some guy that gets steam 2 days before the draft.
Yep.
Tyson is that guy right now.
Yeah.
Over the last couple days, and Bobby was talking about it in the first hour.
Just rocketing up.
They just, I mean, Garrett Wilson's just sitting there rotting away. If we pair him with this guy, then you've got something. Granted, you got to get the ball to him. I think Geno can throw still the deep ball that they could, with Breece Hall, give him some protection. This is the guy I think
I'm kind of surprised in our mock that he's still available. I thought he would have gone inside the top 10 maybe.
So
you know?
I'm going to have the Jets taking the Arizona State wide receiver, Jordan Tyson, with the 16th overall pick. All right, Sam, you got the Lions at 17. Here's Detroit, 2 years removed from winning 15 games. The year before that, they went to the NFC Championship game, and then last year it bottomed out. They finished last in the NFC North.
I think this one's easy, and it makes a ton of sense. Caden Proctor from Alabama. I think that fits so well with Penei Sewell on the other side, athletic big men on the offensive line for the Lions. Taylor Decker, they got to replace him.
Yeah. So
I think Proctor fits right in.
God, he's a mountain. He's a mountain of a man.
Huge guy. He had a great combine and pro day, too. Seems like the best out of anybody.
6'7", 352.
That'll get the job done.
The Lions
can move. He can move.
That feels like such a Dan Campbell pick.
Right,
like,
doesn't it? That's why I feel like that's a good
Montgomery moved on, right? They let David Montgomery go, correct? He's not back. So it's Jahmyr Gibbs is the guy last year after kind of splitting time over the last couple. Again, Detroit still feels like they're loaded for bear, but then I look at
Gibbs and Pacheco.
Okay, I look at the Packers obviously are good. The Bears are good. We think the Vikes are still going to be relevant. That I don't. You said it yesterday. It's a 2-year window. It may have already closed on the Lions already.
Yeah,
which
right.
Is, remarkable. I'll pick for the Vikes here, and here's the slam dunk. It's Thieneman.
Yeah,
it has to be. This is like the one. If we knew Mendoza at 1, it's Thieneman at 18. To the Vikings.
Well, you need somebody to replace Harrison Smith, don't you?
Is Harrison Smith not playing? We don't know. It's not official yet that he's not.
But whether it's this year or if it's the year after, you need a guy. You need a guy there, and he seems like the best
he's
available.
He's so rangy.
Right.
He's good. He's good.
I like the Coy Parrish deal.
Yes.
Those two are similar, I guess. You know, obviously Thieneman is older and more seasoned and experienced, but Coy can be very similar to this guy.
And working with Brian Flores, I mean, this guy's already a ball. He can see from his time prior to coming to Oregon at Purdue. He's a ball hawker. He can go out there and take it away. The Vikes defense is already pretty impressive on that front. I'm interested in what they do with Jonathan Grenard if they trade him sometime this weekend. But I'd take Thieneman there for the Vikings out of Oregon with the 18th pick. All right, Drew, you want to do 19? Let's do a couple more here before we break. Let's do 19, and the Carolina Panthers made the playoffs last season.
If any of these receivers drop, I think you give Bryce Young a target here. But seeing that the top guys have kind of like leveled out here, I'm going to go back-to-back safeties, which is funny. I'm going to go Colton Hood here.
Okay.
I think they try to improve on the other side of the ball.
All right, so Colton Hood off the board.
They definitely need targets at some point.
They do. They absolutely do. I just like the value here, and like I don't think they'll be able to address that position.
Right, because they have Ted McMillan and Xavier Legette. I think tight end would be more of a concern for them.
Yep.
So if Sadiq is still there,
Sadiq's
then he would be the slam dunk, right?
Yeah, like if Lemon's still like, there's Tyson still like on the board somehow, which he won't be, but like I could see them going receiver tight end, but secondary here is something that they could go on.
Corner from Tennessee. Carolina's intriguing. Like Bryce Young seems like he figured it out last year at quarterback for Carolina. And
Canales is like, I mean, he proved it. He's like, and he was the quarterback whisperer when he got hired for that job, and he's shown that I can do this. And that he'd probably like to give Bryce Young a weapon, but I just don't see it here. Like, is that for the value?
All right, let's do one more and we'll break here. Sam, you can do Dallas again. This is the pick they got from Micah Parsons at the 20th overall selection.
I think they go edge in this spot. Keldrick Folk from Auburn,
6'6",
276 pounds. From what I've seen, they need big guys on the edge, and it's an edge-heavy draft. So
no doubt about that.
Either him or Akeem Mesidor, that I just now forgot is still available. So maybe him too. But I'll stick with Folk. I think he's a better fit.
This feels like a good spot for him to go because I feel like any of the teams beyond this would be happy to run up to the podium and turn his name in.
Yeah.
Is there a better chance that the Cowboys trade out of this pick and they don't make it? I think that's probably pretty high. Tonight,
well, I think that goes back to they package this pick with the other one and move up.
Gosh, you're right. There's going to be something that'll spark this first round that just doesn't have it yet. It could be that. So there you go. We're through pick 20. Let's break. We come back. We'll get to the middle picks as we near the end of this mock draft. Next up is the Steelers, who are hosting this draft. That's coming up when we return right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Mock draft year 7 on Hot Mic rolls on. We are through 20 picks. We've got the final 12 to go on this Thursday morning. Last year, of course, our guy Sam Getzinger, you were in lovely Pierre, South Dakota for a historic night for one Gray Zabel got picked in the NFL draft with the 18th overall selection, which we've had a couple of watch parties around here, which, again, is kind of crazy to say that out loud. That take us back to what that was like last year.
That was a cool deal. The event center that we were at was packed. It was just a couple of blocks away from Gray's house. Gray and his family and friends and teammates stayed at his place. The community was there. And then once he got picked, everybody went over to the cul-de-sac that he lives in and just filled the place up. It was awesome. Everybody was friendly, and it was another deal where we had no really idea where he was going to go, and luckily it worked out. Obviously for Drew, it worked out that he went to Seattle.
There's the right before he actually on the phone there with the Seahawks.
I remember we got there, and him setting up that Catan board in the corner was priority number one.
You got there in the afternoon.
Yes, he was on the phone figuring out what the best way to set it up is before we could do any interviews with him, because that was the big brand deal that had to be showcased.
That's fantastic.
It was something.
Man. Worked out okay.
He's been a superstar in Seattle and a media darling from the get-go.
Yes.
I mean,
that night
after,
it started.
Yes,
yes.
And
night.
People were enamored by the idea of him having a childhood punishment of picking rocks.
Yes.
And asking him
story,
what that was.
Yep.
The bush light thing right off the bat, saying he was going to hammer some bush lights and that
he did that after the Super Bowl as well.
And that's continued to this day. Yesterday, the Seahawks did a whole social media video series, with off-season training, centered around Gray Zabel.
That's awesome.
It's just he's the guy there, and he was the missing piece.
Yeah.
And a cathartic pick, because for almost a decade straight, Seahawks fans have wanted that team to invest in the interior offensive line.
What was it, the day after after he got picked, he was in Seattle making calls to the other draft picks? They had him doing that? I thought that was another good look for him, too.
They knew exactly what they drafted in terms of a personality, and he's been fantastic.
That reminds me of the Seahawks were locked with Zabel, it seemed like, for a month last year. Remember, leading up to that, it seemed like the Vikings with Thieneman seems very similar to what the Seahawks were with Zabel last year.
Yeah, it's what the fan base wants, and it's so rare that those things line up, that the fan base wants the same thing that the team values, that's the consensus smart pick, and it's just kind of like when those stars align, sometimes it can really work. And that was the first time it's really worked for the Seahawks. I'll tell you that.
Boy, that all worked there. All right, so the next few picks here, the last one, we did Colton Hood for Carolina. Kendrick Falk went to Auburn with 20. So now we're up to the 21st overall pick, which is the hometown Steelers. They host the draft tonight. Sam, you can have this one because I'm dying to know what Pittsburgh is going to do, because they don't have a quarterback.
Well, at some point, they're definitely going to have to address quarterback, but I don't think they do it in the first round. I think the bigger need is an offensive lineman. Now, all of those quote-unquote bigger name ones are off the board here, but I'll go with Caleb Lamu from Utah, the other Utah lineman in this one. I think that's a spot that they have to hit first before they get to quarterback.
Okay, so that's the second Utah offensive lineman. Steelers are also really interesting of what they're Going to be Mike Tomlin, obviously moving on. Mike McCarthy is now the head coach of the Steelers.
They've put a big emphasis on offensive linemen in recent years, haven't they?
And just, again, figuring out quarterback. Is Aaron Rodgers going to be the guy? Or do they do something drastic and do they take does Ty Simpson go here?
Maybe. I mean, I think it's going to be on offense. The pick is like it makes sense that they invest somewhere, in the offense. I just don't see McCarthy having I mean, can you imagine spending your first pick as the head coach on a not controversial quarterback?
I'd say it's controversial.
Is he going to go in the first round? I mean, he seems like a guy who you move into pick 32, 31 for.
Is Will Howard just completely out of the picture there then? Because they just got him last year.
Yeah, I think so. I think teams are now more willing to just burn it on quarterbacks and say we could take a guy in the third or fourth round. That's not going to prohibit us from taking a guy in the first round.
That's just so much capital to spend on a quarterback at this phase of the game who's not going to be playing.
How many starts does he have? 15? Simpson? I mean, it's right around what Cole Payton has for career
It's
starts.
wild that this first round revolves around Ty Simpson, who I don't think is the greatest quarterback to walk the earth, but he's going to have a lot of teams thinking.
All right, I'm going to do the Chargers pick here at 22. Jim Harbaugh's team obviously made the postseason last year. They have what they have at quarterback, obviously, and Herbert's a robot who never misses a game. That would seem, again, that the Chargers would need to draft offensive line because he's always, literally, you watch him, Herbert's always picking himself off the turf because he's getting blown up. I'm not doing that, though. I'm doing defense. I'm doing Akeem Mesidor, the edge from Miami, who was a disruptor on the way the Hurricanes made all the way to the national championship.
I think he should have gone ahead of Falk with that Dallas pick, and I'm surprised that Mesidor's still on the board at this point, in my opinion, because I thought out of the two, I liked Mesidor during that playoff run more than Bain. I thought he was great.
Yes. Drew, you give us the Eagles. What does Howie Roseman have up his sleeve here at 23?
I think they zag a little bit here. I think they're gonna make his strength a super strength. I think they're gonna take Zion Young because he's really athletic.
Okay,
it's tackle. He's defensive tackle. I don't think people are gonna expect them to go that way.
Put him next to
not going to be a lot of defensive tackles in the first round. Yeah,
put him next to Jalen Carter.
Rotational value there. They like stacking that position.
They
a lot.
need offensive linemen though too.
Yeah, I just think that's ran out a little bit here.
Yeah,
I do. I think it's just I don't know, and I'm taking some risks in this round because I just don't think teams are going to value the players the way that. I mean, since there is no consensus, I think we could see some surprises. I think he could go really early. I think I'm going to go Zion Young.
Okay, I'll pick for the Browns. I have both Browns picks. That's gross. So in the first time, I had them take an offensive lineman, Monroe Freeland, the offensive lineman from Georgia. I'm going to have him again on offense. Bobby's right on the spot on this. Defensively, they're rock solid. They need to address offense.
Have to get a weapon.
Denzel Boston's still there. I'm taking him, the wide receiver out of Washington, to give another threat on the outside for a team that badly needs some offensive weaponry there. I like Boston out of Washington. 20 receiving touchdowns, only 3 drops, so nearly 200 targets, 6'4", 212. You see his ability to go up and get it. He's a playmaker. I like him there.
Is it bad that part of me is just like, man, that's a shame? He's going
to Cleveland?
It's like his talent's going to be just wasted like that. And that's.
Well, I think even with him off the board, in my opinion, there's still 2 wide receivers that I like better than the rest of them. I like the
Cooper.
Omar Cooper.
You're a big Omar Cooper guy.
I think Casey Concepcion. He is my favorite wide receiver in this class.
That's what I'm saying. There could be 6 or 7 that are going to get drafted. And by the way, on the local side of that, the more wide receivers that get picked in the first round bumps up Bryce Lance to go earlier in the draft than maybe some anticipate. So I'll go Boston with the Browns at 24. Let's do last 2 here and then we'll break. So Sam, you want to do the Bears at 25? What is Ben Johnson doing year 2 with Chicago?
Well, offensive linemen, I feel like just because of their rookie Ozzy, I wrote his name down, Trapalo. He was injured, and it sounds like that's going to linger into 2026. So they need somebody in at left tackle. But like Drew said, we're kind of picking through the tackles here pretty good. There's one guy left that's been gaining a lot of steam. That's Max Ianacher from Arizona State.
Okay.
I think they'll go that way to try and fill that hole for a little bit, even though they just got this Aussie guy last year.
And there are certain mocks that have him like 5 picks earlier than this.
Yeah.
So for the guy you just picked out of Arizona State. Drew, you get us to break here with Buffalo. What do the Bills do the first year for Joe Brady now as head coach in Buffalo?
I think they don't overthink this, and they go for a receiver here. And I think this is where Omar Cooper comes
Okay.
off.
Omar Cooper in that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he feels like a Buffalo receiver, like a good target for Josh Allen. Like Josh Allen will be able to find him.
The Indiana wide receiver at 13 touchdowns from Fernando Mendoza this past year. ESPN had him mocked at 27, so 1 pick later than what the Bills are going to do at 26 here. So there's the last pick there before we break with Omar Cooper. Indiana going to the Buffalo Bills. All right, we'll break. We're into the final half hour of the show. We'll come back and wrap up the mock draft with the last 6 picks. Niners, Texans, Chiefs, Dolphins, Pats, and Drew Seahawks. We'll do that when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. This is the scene 5 years ago in Cleveland. Rainy night that night when Trey Lance was selected with the number 3 overall pick by the San Francisco 49ers. Talk about an electric quarterback draft that year. Obviously, number 1 was Trevor Lawrence. Number 2 was Zach Wilson. Number 3 was Trey Lance. Justin Fields went in that draft. Mac Jones went in that draft.
The lasting image of that draft in my mind is just the lengthy walkouts.
Yeah, Trey was still going there.
They were like 2 miles from the stage, and it was like 15 minutes later they'd get there.
It was pouring rain that night. Our guy Zach Staten was telling me he was soaking wet.
I remember
it didn't stop raining.
First news we had, the live look at Cleveland.
Yeah,
and it was just like fog. Like you couldn't see the stage.
He's still not on the stage.
It's unreal. I totally forgot.
The Mac Jones walk for that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like the one that took the longest because he was just loping.
Here are the picks, by the way, real quick when we get back to our mock draft. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence went 1, Zach Wilson 2, Trey Lance 3, Kyle Pitts 4, Jamar Chase. If we redraft this, Jamar Chase is number 1, right?
With a bullet. Yeah, has to be.
Or do I argue? Here we keep going. Jalen Waddle was next. Penei Sewell went 7th. Penei Sewell could have got number 1 in that draft. J.C. Horn went 8. Surtain went 9th. Devontae Smith went 10th. Right?
Surtain could have been number 1.
Devontae Smith went 10th to the Eagles.
Yeah.
Justin Fields 11. Micah Parsons went 12th.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons could have been the number 1 pick.
Wow.
In that draft. Rashawn Slater, who's been a Pro Bowler, went 13th. Of course, the Jets took Elijah Vera Tucker. How'd that work out? That's another year we had 2 first-rounders. I loved him, and he got hurt. He still could be good.
I also remember Jamal Kennedy was on our staff at the time, Eagles fan, and I took a linebacker because they had none on their roster. Right. At that point, it was like one of their top needs, and he just read me the riot on for the rest of the day on Twitter. He's like, it was hilarious. And he was right. They took Smith.
And they took Devontae Smith, and he was doing jumping jacks after that. All right, so we have 6 picks remaining here in the mock draft. The last one was Omar Cooper, went from Indiana to the Buffalo Bills. So we have 27 through 32. They have the Niners, Texans, the Chiefs, Dolphins, who traded with Denver to get that 30th pick, and the Pats and the Seahawks. Drew, I always do this to you as well because I give you the 49ers to pick at number 27.
I don't think that Shanahan's going to be able to help himself here. And he's going to look at KC Concepcion and be like, undersized guy, super speedy, bursty, like welcome to Debo Samuel 2.0. Like he's going to go with KC Concepcion.
Wow.
That's a good comparison. I think those two are very similar.
And he knows how to use them. You know, it's like, and so that's, and I hate it. I hate it so much, but that's like, if he's there, and he probably will be, like that's the pick.
Yeah. He was so good at NC State, then he went to Texas A&M, and it just wasn't fair. Yeah. He's so fun to watch.
I hate this, with every fiber of my being, and that's what they're going to do.
KC Concepcion will go for the 49ers 27. Sam, I give you a division rival, your team, the Houston Texans. At 20, Texans, of course, made it to the divisional round, lost to New England last year.
This is where, when I said earlier in the show, the Cardinals are going to make some waves here late. I'm firm. I think this is the one. I think Cardinals trade back in. with Houston.
Okay.
They go for Ty Simpson at that spot. I think that would be, and then that puts everything else especially for Cole and your Jets. Are the Jets punting to next year? How does that impact Cole? But for the Texans, if they stay, which I don't think they will, I'll make a pick. I'll just go Caden McDonald, a boring defensive tackle. But I really think this is the one where, and Houston's no stranger to trading around. They've done it the last couple of years. But I think this is, if they want to leapfrog some other teams that may be in contention for Ty Simpson, I think this is the spot you do it.
Okay. I like that. I like that trade idea. Let's see if that comes to
I don't know
tonight.
what they would package or anything, but I just...
Well, if you're trading into the first round, normally you got to give up a second round and something next year, too, if you're going to get into the first round. I think this is
the spot because if Ty doesn't go night one, he's early day two. Okay.
I have the Chiefs at 29.
Here's another spot where I could see
potential
the Cardinals
trade
moving in here, for sure.
If they don't trade, I'm going to take defensive back Traden Stukes from Arizona. Yeah. They need some help on the back end. Obviously, Trent McDuffie gone. I think that's what the Chiefs do there.
I like him. He feels very Seahawky to me too. Like he was somebody I was considering at 32, and some of my brother's favorite players in this draft, and he wants them real bad.
Sam, you're back up here. Your last pick is Miami. Yeah. The Dolphins, of course, made this trade with Denver. They sent Jalen Waddle to the Broncos.
Well, so many of my picks are gone at this point. I think they're going to go defensive back. Has Jamad McCoy? Is he still on the board?
I believe that's correct. He is still available.
I think he's the guy. Okay. I'm surprised he's last this long. So if he's there, Dolphins will go with him.
Okay. All right. That's an interesting pick there. I have the Patriots at 31. Now, here's where they can probably take best available, right? I mean, we look what New England has. You maybe argue offensive line considering how the Super Bowl played out.
And they got an old offensive line too, don't they?
Yes. I'm going to go to a defensive back. I'm going to take Chris Johnson out of San Diego State with the 31st overall pick. Assuming that's what you wanted for the Seahawks.
Hurts, yeah.
I'm going to take him with the 31st pick to the Patriots, who I hope lose all their games this season.
I feel like that would be like if Stukes or Johnson were still there for the Seahawks, and you give Mike McDonald that sort of skill set to pair with like a Nicky Manwari, like Devin Witherspoon backfield, like ooh, that'd be fun.
Right there, you could see why the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. Those are the guys they listed up, they drafted, and like, come on, that's why you win Super Bowls.
And there's an opportunity here. You could get the second best safety in the draft at 32 right now, couldn't you? That kid from Toledo?
Yeah.
If you wanted to?
Yeah. What's his name?
Let me look.
I should take
this is where the expertise comes in. Emmanuel McNeil Warren.
Yeah. Yes, Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Or,
I should say third back. I forgot about Thieneman.
Or do they
don't want to insult the Vikings fans?
Which you have.
John Schneider, their GM, is notorious for overdrafting running back prices there. Because I don't think they're going to pick here. I think they're going to trade. They're going to trade back, and they're going to see what's there.
I agree with you.
No, I'll do Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Yeah, that's a good. He's rangy too. And he can fill that kind of multi-purpose role in the backfield.
So that's who the Seahawks will pick with the 32nd.
I'd be super happy with that if they ended up.
I mean, to go off of your point of pairing it with the talent you already have. Yeah.
So that would mean, at least with our draft, one quarterback. Ty Simpson would not go in the first round of the NFL draft.
I mean, somebody's probably going to move up to that 29 to 30 range or 27 to 32 range and
do it
just to get that fifth year option.
Yeah, right.
On him, like if you believe in the guy, like you want him to have that option.
This reminds me, if you guys remember, of the Daniel Jones draft. Remember when the Giants went up and drafted him, and that became a huge story that they took him in the top 10. If this doesn't happen, if he doesn't get picked, that's going to be all like the Shedeur Sanders thing last year became a freight train all the way to Saturday. If Ty Simpson doesn't go, watch that, because he plays at Alabama, and Orlovsky's already been out there on the limb saying he's the best guy. Watch that be the runaway story of the night.
And it would be, but he's going to go right away in the second round.
Right. Yeah, I don't think he and his team can be that surprised if he doesn't go in the first round, but
I would say the Jets and the Cardinals have the top 2 picks of the second round.
Yeah.
The Jets aren't going to take them. Arizona.
What happens though
with
with Cole Payton if like say he does get picked early? Say like somebody like the Rams go for him like and really early. Like we're talking like first half of the first round, which I don't think is projected. But what if?
I'd say Cole's opportunity moves certainly up on day 2. That maybe he's not waiting very long on Friday. No,
I mean, are we talking? I know he's hearing day 2, but like, is there a scenario where at the end of this round, like all of a sudden, like
that
the team's
might be
moving up?
I don't think so. No, I think Friday's certainly more in play than I thought at the start of the week. I thought for certain it was going to be Saturday morning, early in day on the round 4.
When he said it on your show, I didn't believe it. But now that I'm starting to see the scenarios play out, I believe it.
And if this comes to pass, anything close to it, then that certainly can be the case.
And the reason I bring that up is because, and this could totally be agent smoke, and it probably is, but we heard a report last night that Carson Beck is like thinking that he's going to get taken earlier. And if he's thinking, like, if that creates some sort of like domino effect and it pushes guys a little bit more than we think, and people like this quarterback class a little bit more than we think, that could, I don't know.
All right, boys, we have made it to the end again. This was a blast. I always love doing this. And what do you think? Will this?
Colts didn't have a pick, so it was whatever.
It should be fun.
It was good.
I'm excited tonight to see what unfolds.
I think I don't think we're extremely far off on any.
How many think we get right here? What's the under/over?
I'm going. I think since it's such a weird year,
I'm setting it at 7.5.
Yeah, I was thinking the same number.
I'll take
the same thing.
I'll take the under on that.
Under?
Yeah, because
under 7.5.
I think it's more like 5 this year. Just because it's so
we know
weird.
we got one right. Mendoza definitely is going 1, and I think we got the Vikings pick right at.
So that's
18.
2.
And I think the Jets, I think they take Bailey probably just because that's what we're hearing.
I think they do too.
I think Thieneman is almost a lock on Minnesota.
There's so many moves though too that I think you have to factor in.
Right.
That's going to totally blow this up. So I'll take the under on it too.
All right.
I will.
So we'll put this out on our social media feed later, and then come back tomorrow and see actually how many we get right. So, boys, this was awesome. Thanks so much for coming in this morning. Appreciate it.
This is so much fun.
Yeah, we have a blast every year.
So much fun.
So we'll see what happens. It all begins at 7 o'clock tonight. We'll take our final break. We'll come back. We'll put a bow on things. Get you ready for a pretty good sports Thursday. Hot Mike wraps right after this.